guys, and welcome to part 2 of the 7-part series, Let's Talk East Coast. I am so excited to be here today. I am at my good friend Ashley's house, and she moved here from Ontario as well. And I have to tell you, what better way to hear about the East Coast than from somebody that's experienced the move. So what a treat for you guys having today to be able to hear some of the thoughts and differences that come from Ontario to here. Ashley's been here just over a year, and I have to tell you, we've talked about this many times about what we found different or tips and tricks that we might be able to help people with coming this way. So I guess my first question is, what are the biggest difference? Like, give me a couple. Like, if you had to say that kind of hit you in the face, like hit you like a train, what are those biggest differences you found? And yeah, tell the viewers where you're from as well.
Oh, of course. I moved from London, Ontario, so it's a pretty big city, and I moved to a little place called Rexton, and it has maximum population 1,000 people. So there were a lot of big differences for me. One being on Sundays, not everything's open. The liquor store's not open. Hardware store, of course, everything seems to happen on a Sunday for us when we need to go to the hardware store. So that's closed. If anything is open, it's open until 5. So that was a bit of an adjustment. But I will say that city mentality versus that rural mentality with the people, the population, everybody's just so nice and so kind. And because we are a little bit remote, if anybody's going to the city, they'll offer, can I pick anything up for you from Walmart or Costco or what have you. And I really love that. My kids are thriving. The school system is fantastic out here. I just found all the kids are very accepting and will just bring anybody into their group. My kids, they had struggled in the city with friendships and things like that. And so I think that those are the biggest differences for us.
Do you find that those biggest differences you've come so accustomed to that you love them now? Like, So even though you can't go somewhere on Sunday or you can't go somewhere after 5, are you now like,
no, Sunday's day of rest day.
Kick out your feet and relax?
We get everything done on Friday or Saturday, and then Sunday we put around the house, do our chores, just enjoy each other as a family, which is not really something that we had a lot of time for, or we felt like we didn't have a lot of time for living in the city, but here definitely we make more time for our family.
And that goes back to the last video too. It's just a slower pace of life, and it's just totally different mentality of how you live your life. Now, what would you say the hardest adjustment was for you in regards to, like, I know a lot of people talk about the groceries are more expensive here, or certain things like that. Would you say there's a big difference from like London to here in regards to like picking up your groceries or paying for your gas or paying your bills in general?
I'd say I know a lot of people are questioning about hydro. Like that's a big one that I see in the groups and things. I would say that it's pretty comparable. I have a heat pump and I use wood in the winter, so my bill isn't much different. Milk is expensive.
Which I don't know why. We have cows.
I know. I know.
Cows.
I don't know why, but milk is very expensive. But I don't really see many drawbacks or anything. I mean, that's the biggest differences for me. It's just we have gas station down the road. We have 2 grocery store down the road.
And you find all that quite comparable in regards to like what you're paying before. I know it's been a year and a bit, so that we all know that prices of things have gone up and inflation, all those things. So we're not talking in regards to like inflation. We're just talking about in regards to, your average grocery bill, which you pay for a family of, 4 or 5, whatever.
Well, 5. My son has a girlfriend now. She's always here. But no, I don't really think so, because when I went back to Ontario in April, I did go to the grocery store, and a lot of it was really comparable. Yeah. I think it's just across
across the board.
Across the board, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Minus the milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say, you had mentioned the school system is much more inclusive here than in Ontario. And now, keep in mind, guys, she's come from a big city to a very rural area, but this rural area is very popular, right? Like, you know, larger lots, bigger homes, you know, you're getting, you know, good bang for your buck. So, you know, those smaller communities and smaller schools are, you know, have less people in them, whatever. But inclusive wise, you just find people just more accepting and friendly in general.
Yeah, and the teachers are very proactive in reaching out to you if there are any issues or concerns with grades. The nice thing, my son, he goes to middle school. Actually, that's one thing I'll mention before I get into that is where I live, there is an elementary school, then a middle school, then a high school. So that was a bit of an adjustment. My son, he's in grade 6, and you're like, oh, middle school, okay, that's different. But it is nice because then you're more with the kids of your own age group, and you're not with the younger ones or the older ones. So I do
get a
like
bit
that.
of time to transition.
But yeah, the teachers do reach out, and they have at the middle school, the last hour of class is actually an elective that the kids choose. So they choose 2, and every other day they'll do all their schoolwork, and then the last hour of school is one of the activities that they've chosen. And then my son realized that there was early bus, and he started taking that near the end of the school year. Which means you get to go home early instead of doing your activity. But yeah, that's really nice for them, so then they can hone in on what they are really interested in, and I really like that.
Yeah, it gives them more of a choice than such the rigid, I don't know, I want to say ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but you know, there's a little bit more choice in regards to what you're learning and more hands-on, I find.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's experience is different, but I found that too very much.
Sorry.
No, and I'm just saying, and it was like a slower pace. Like, not that they're learning slower or they're learning anything different. It's just the way that they took it on for, like, the way that they're teaching it for the kids. Like, it felt like there was actual time taken per task.
Yeah, I would say.
I guess.
Yeah. And in the high school, they're very, they push the trades a lot here. That is one thing they're very lacking in. All the people that are in trade are of age of retirement.
We need trades!
Pretty please. You know, people who are doing trade, there's a wait list in some areas, some trades. So yeah, they are pushing that on the kids a little bit. My son, my oldest, he took welding this last semester and he loved it. I don't think that's something that he would have done in the city. He was more computers and wanting to do editing and things like that. But coming out here, now he's tried something they probably wouldn't have.
Some extra things for sure. So biggest benefit of moving out here?
Biggest benefit, peace of mind, calm. I felt when I was in Ontario, it was go, 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 go. And now, just take it as it comes. And it's a wonderful feeling. I feel so much more relaxed. I'm not as stressed as I was. And it's beautiful. Everywhere you look, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, so you're actually enjoying your life.
I am.
Yeah. Do you find you were able to get, in regards to like taking it back to real estate, were you able to get something that you would not have been able to get in Ontario?
100%. 100%. And for the cost, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no way I would have been able to. I was being pushed out of the market in Ontario. And this was a year ago, you know, when everything was sky high. But there's no way I would have been able to get this.
Yeah. And to be honest, guys, we're sitting on her front porch right now on a swingy swing. And I'm staring out at trees and her new garden, and the porch is probably what, 50 feet?
Yeah.
Covered porch, 50 feet. It's a beautiful home. If she says yes, I'll put a little picture at the end of the video. But Okay, so, you know, give me 3 tips for the person that's thinking about moving here. Just, you know, they've got it in the back of their head thinking like, oh, everybody's talking about New Brunswick and the affordability and maybe it's a good choice, you know. What's 3 tips you can give them before they actually commit and make the move?
Come out and visit. Come out and visit. Go online. Look at a couple of areas that are of interest to you. Do you want to be closer to the city? Do you want to be more rural? Myself, I'm 45 minutes between 2 cities, so it works for us. Everything's accessible. Costco's not far, but definitely come out, visit. I would also say look into the schools. Just if you have children, just look into the education system, how it works. It's not exactly like Ontario, so I would recommend that. And I don't know.
Eat the ice cream and enjoy.
Yeah, hit the beach.
At the beach, yeah.
Go to Bouctouche, catch some crabs.
Bouctouche, my favorite place in the world, which will be on a future video. Don't worry, you're going to hear about all the little towns in and around Moncton, New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Because Moncton, Fredericton's not the only places to live. So, as I said in the last video, we don't have a Toronto. We will never have a Toronto. We're just not urbanized like that. But I'm telling you, if you're willing to live in a smaller community in and around the bigger cities, the bang for your buck, first of all,
Is amazing.
is amazing. Second of all, you can get to Costco. Don't worry about it. Costco's there.
Yeah.
Okay? But when you look out your front to see, or 5 minutes down the road, or 10 minutes around the corner to see water, beach, like you can smell it in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, so visit. Another thing to really think about is how close you want to be to the other borders as well. So if you know you're going to be traveling to PEI often, if you've got family there or something like that, then that might help you decide. And ask lots of questions. You know, find some allies out on there's lots of Facebook groups about the East Coast. Find some allies, ask the questions, ask for recommendations. You know, top 5 spots to hit up while you're here, those kind of things. There's lots of that information online. So thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something today. And that's episode 2.